Cloudy, a slight chance of a couple of showers. We drop to 63. And then on Saturday, a mix of the sun and clouds and high temperatures around 80 degrees. We'll be in the 70s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Oh, it's finally here. I got to tell you, everybody loves Christmas and things like that, but I think the most wonderful time of the year is football season, especially high school football season. Would you agree, Ken?
Of course. Sure. I pretty much am thankful for Friday. I thought that's where you were going.
No.
People like Christmas. I love Friday.
Yeah, I do love Friday as well, but I do love high school football, and I know somebody that's also very excited about it is the guy you will hear every time we have a St. Joe Bears football game is Brett Witkowski. He, alongside Joel Cordes, will have the game later tonight. St. Joe playing against Niles. Brett, good morning, man.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, is your name Brett or is it Kurt?
What's that?
Is your name Brett or Kurt today?
Oh, it's Kurt Gowdy today.
Yeah, if you're watching this live on our Facebook and our YouTube, you can see that Brett has decided to change his name, and this is something you're going to do every week. Is that what your plan is?
We need to take someone who's been successful in broadcasting and try to transpose that.
There you go. There you
Very
go.
nice. Very nice.
Well, we're excited to talk to you about St. Joe Bears football here in just a little while with your preview that's brought to you by our friends at Laser Graphics. But I want to talk other football as well. We know they're not playing this week yet, but we do have one football game that a lot of people are watching out for, and that's the Notre Dame game over in Dublin.
Yep.
Notre Dame and Navy. That should be a pretty good game. But what are your thoughts on with Jim Harbaugh and his suspension? Do you think that's going to affect the Michigan Wolverines as they start the season?
Absolutely not.
No.
He's got like a round robin of coaches coming in. I saw he's got his dad coming in, his dad was the head coach at Western, and he recruited me up there.
He's going to have his dad as a sub coach?
For one game, it said, yeah.
Oh, how fun.
And then I saw there's another guy, defense coordinator, Jess Minner. His dad was actually who recruited me. So it's funny, that's the one thing about sports, and it can apply to other things. The people you end up knowing in life and where they end up going is absolutely amazing. But, I mean, come on. Look, whether you're a Michigan fan or not, their non-conference schedule is not strong.
No.
It does not take much to coach that team. All the coaches could head down to some bar, watch it on TV, and the guys could win the first 3 games.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of all that planning and everything into strategy usually happens during the practices and getting that all coordinated. And usually that head coach, as we talked about, it's kind of like the when you're the leader of a CEO or of a company, and if you got all those good people working under you, then the place pretty much runs itself, and you just kind of make sure everything runs smooth. But yeah, I just figured, that happening, the 3-game suspension, I'm just not sure what's going to happen next year. With the NCAA.
And to that point, I mean, Brett, does the NCAA look at what you just said, which is this isn't much of a schedule for those first 3 games? It's not really much of a penalty for Jim Harbaugh. Right. Does the NCAA say, well, we got to do something more?
Well, I don't know if it really even matters. I think the NCAA's lost control of college football as is.
Yeah.
And it's, whether people agree or disagree with all the conference realignment, it's all being driven by football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing, you got to have UCLA's softball team fly and play in Rutgers and their swim team. And those sports do not make money. Football is the one money maker. I think Chip Kelly out at UCLA has the right idea. Let there be football conferences and let them do everything else, kind of like the Notre Dame model. Notre Dame's independent, and the ACC for everything else. And it really should, I think it could apply to a lot of high school conferences too, because people move conferences mostly because of football.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where the money is. That's where you get the audience that's far beyond the base fans or the parents. If you go to the St. Joe Niles game, they'll have a good crowd. It's a lot more in parents at those games. So, I just think the NCAA they're trying to hang on themselves to have some relevancy in college football, because those schools all could get together and say, we don't need you. And they really don't. And create their own network, create their own championship, and just, in essence, be a minor league for pro football.
I think we should have Brett as NCAA commissioner. Could we do that?
Well, if I can get to go to games every Saturday, sure.
Yeah, man. And it's not too far of a drive down to Indianapolis, so you could commute. No, it's so we'll see what ends up happening. I'm excited about this. The Notre Dame game over in Dublin. That's a lot of fun. We know the Dan Patrick show has been kind of covering that and broadcasting from Dublin. I don't know how we didn't get the invite to go over there as well, but hey, we're busy here. We got things to do down.
We got stuff to do.
Well, aren't you going out to Baroda next week to broadcast?
Are we?
Well, I mean, that's
what's over there.
Budget says you get to go to Baroda.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well,
that's as far as our expense account will allow us.
and it's only a one way.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh geez. The only far trip. Yeah, we're like, exotic place of Holland, but the Holland, Michigan, not the other Holland.
Yep.
Well, we're looking forward to high school football season. We know we had a game. Well, started to have some games yesterday, but some of those didn't happen because of not only the heat but also the lightning. Going to be a lot better weather for today and this slate of games, but we want to preview one game specifically, and that is our St. Joe Bears football game. Our preview brought to you by our friends at Laser Graphics. Give them the stuff they want from Laser Graphics. Brett, what can we expect for this game, the opening game of the season for the St. Joe Bears against the Niles Vikings at Niles?
Well, I think what's the other part is this is our 25th year that WSJM has been the home of the Bears, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Niles is a different program than they've been. And if you're listening to Coach's show, Coach Pratley alluded to 50 years. This is a program that Coach Shaw has got turned around. They barely lost to Edwardsburg in the state playoffs last year. And people know anything about football, Edwardsburg's track record the last decade is phenomenal. I think they've lost 11, 12 games in the last decade. Niles has got a lot of players back. I heard at their scrimmage from a couple different sources. They look solid. They're reopening up their old stadium with turf and everything, and they got some new lights put in. And so, Niles is not the Niles that people would think of the last, let's say, 20, 25 years. This program is legit. They are pushing. I mean, they scheduled St. Joe and Lakeshore not to lose 2 games.
Wow.
Most coaches don't schedule tough teams like that thinking they don't have a chance. And so they definitely got a good program. St. Joe is coming off a really successful year, lost their first game, won their next 9 in a row, and then lost in the playoffs to Zeeland West, who Lakeshore plays here this morning. St. Joe lost 19 starters. That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's some teams that don't have 19 players.
That's true.
You know that, Johnny.
Yeah.
You'd have been happy to have 19 at Eau Claire and Barcelona.
Oh my gosh, yeah. When I was playing, I would have been happy because now they've moved to 8-man football at Eau Claire. And honestly, if they would have had that when I was playing, that would have probably been a lot better for us. We wouldn't be all tired, and because you pretty much had no room for injury when you would have small teams like that.
You're still tired, I heard.
What's that?
You're still tired from some of those games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I can still play. So does that not having those starters and that sort of inexperience, does that hurt them as they kind of ramp up into the beginning of the season? Because having, like you said, a tough opponent like Niles, and then what does that look like for the season for the Bears?
Well, I think it's twofold. One is if you have a program, you're going to have inexperienced guys every year or so, every couple of years, because you're not having to depend on freshmen and sophomores. And so St. Joe right now has a program where they have like 100, 120 guys playing 9th grade through 12th grade. So you're most likely going to have to wait your turn unless you're just an extreme athlete as a freshman and sophomore. And it's more like the reload program. And, people have always talked about that with Benton Harbor boys basketball. Like, oh, they got nobody coming back. Well, you forget it's a program. They got guys who are playing on JVs, been waiting for this day. And even Coach Pratley kind of alluded to that on the coaches show that, a lot of these guys probably would have started somewhere else as freshmen or sophomores. But because of the depth St. Joe had, they had to kind of wait their turn. And so which is not all bad in life. So I think from one standpoint, just playing varsity at that level, at that speed, and usually the speed is the difference between freshman, JV, varsity, and then from varsity to college, etc. I think it may take a few snaps to just get adjusted to that speed, because Niles will be fired up, trust me, really fired up. But the one thing St. Joe's going to do is they're going to have 22 starters. And so when the offense is off the field, they're going to get coached on the sidelines. And Johnny, from playing at a small school like Eau Claire, you didn't get that. No. Your talk was at halftime, and you might remember a little bit of it because you're so exhausted. And so St. Joe's going to have that benefit, at least coming out of the gate, not to have players having to go both ways. It'll keep them fresher, and that's the one thing St. Joe has done extremely well since Coach Pratley has been there and Coach Church, is and Coach Hughes, they are physically fit. They outwear their opponents. And then being able to coach them. I know you can use TVs on the sidelines. You can use handheld. You can use any video equipment you want. So guys can see what they just screwed up on 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've certainly built a program there, and it certainly helps to have the next man up to be able to help them with that. But it is going to be a tough game, as you said. But the good thing is a little bit cooler of a game. I don't know what game time temperature is going to be, but with the high of only 80 and then later tonight being in the 60s, it should be a pretty nice game. Plus a very nice brand new turf field. You going to go roll around in it a little bit?
No, I plan on running on it. I'm trying to work on my 40-yard dash.
There you go.
I want to see if I can finish a 40-yard dash and then go from there. Interesting stat for St. Joe. Last year, they won 9 games. Year before that, they won 8 games.
Yeah.
Year before that, they won 7 games. Year before that, they won 6 games. Year before that, they won 5 games.
So let's hope for 10 this year.
I'm hoping for 10-4. 10-4 means they're in a state championship.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. But we'll be able to hear you guys later on this evening. What time's pregame?
6:35. We'll preview St. Joe's game. We'll wrap up scores that only 3 games got finished last night. They're all over the board. Tonight, I saw some Saturday at noon, mainly because the officials. Lack of, not because they're bad. That would be me. It's mostly because of lack of officials. And then we'll obviously do our talk with Coach Pratley, and then we'll preview the St. Joe and Niles game. And I'm telling you, this is a different Niles team. If you're 30 and under, don't think it's the same Niles that St. Joe played the last 20, 25 years, because it is not.
So tonight's is a home game for St. Joe?
No, it's at Niles.
At Niles.
Oh, it's at Niles.
And Niles is they did an opening ceremony for soccer last year, but the real big opening for the new updated stadium will be tonight. And Niles has got their sports turned around. They won the boys basketball tournament, upset Benton Harbor. Their football took off last year.
Go Vikings.
Yeah, Matt Brawley, the AD down there, is doing a very good job, I think.
I hear their soccer team looks really good. They have one player, Sawyer, on there who's good.
Oh yeah. Ken's son goes to Niles, so we know who Ken
plays at Niles.
Yeah, he's on the soccer team.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah.
Do they still have their own soccer field? Or are they playing on the big field, on the football field?
Good question. Don't know. They play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 'cause they've usually played over down the road at that other soccer field, right?
Yeah.
Wherever it is. He was telling me the other day that they were playing, as I mentioned, Johnny, Dowagiac.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly hot. He wasn't looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's no shade in that on that Dowagiac field at all. There's no. The only shade you're going to get is from the shadow of the school. That's about it.
To the press box food, I'm sure it'll be good at Niles. They usually bring in. There's a local pizza joint they usually bring in.
Is it Pizza Transit?
Sailors? No.
When I start
Milano's? Is it Milano's?
That's it.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's right down. That's right around the corner from them. So yeah, that makes total sense. That's one. That's honestly, as a Niles resident, that is my endorsement for best pizza, Milano's. So you heard it here, folks.
Oh, boy.
Brett, looking forward to the game. Maybe you do Facebook Live or something like that, and maybe do a pizza review.
Well, yeah, that might. Well, here's what I hope they don't do again: is put the pizza right outside the door we're at. That was not nobody. I'm not sure if anybody else got anything.
Aw.
Oh
But,
man!
you know,
All right.
I felt good about myself.
Do well.
Look forward to that. Look forward to the game. You'll hear it later on tonight. Where you're home, as you said, for 25 years plus for St. Joe Bears football right here on 94.9 WSJM. But our St. Joe Bears football preview is brought to you by Laser Graphics. Give them the stuff that they want from Laser Graphics. Brett, we'll hear from you later on tonight. All right, man?
You got it, gentlemen.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you, sirs. And Ken.
Rates at Sturgis are heating up for a limited time. They're offering.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Do well.
Oh, that's fun.
Looking
forward to that game. It should be a good game. So, are you
Milano's
Milano's
pizza? Which one is your favorite?
If you go to Milano's Pizza, you got to get the thicker crust.
Oh,
they've got a regular crust and then they've got a thick crust.
Yeah,
that's the one to get. So next time you're in the Niles area and you want to grab a pizza, let me know. By the way, because I'll gladly take a slice.
The Buchanan Milano's always did the margarita pizza.
Ooh,
yeah, that's good stuff.
So there's different ones.
The Milano's?
Different locations?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think the Buchanan one is probably better.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to have
It's
to
delicious.
I'm going to do a taste test.
It's a little hole in the wall. I mean, it's right off of Main Street there. And yeah, it's good. You can see them baking the pizzas in the ovens right behind the counter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Well, for those of you that are still watching us on Facebook and as well as YouTube, we actually have, look at that, Ken. We have 4 people watching.
No way.
4 people. And I'm telling you, it's not me on 4 different devices. I swear.
We're calling it the inaugural test of this. So welcome and thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are looking forward to St. Joe Bears football. By the way, if you're looking forward to the Tigers game, that is not going to be happening right here on WSJM. That's actually going to be happening on our sister station, 98.3 The Coast, right around the same time as the St. Joe Bears football game. So you can kind of flip between the two if you want, but it's going to be 2 great broadcasts that we want to keep track of both. But looking forward to that game. The Houston Astros, right? That's who the Tigers went against.
I'm still astounded at their defeat from last night. 17-1. How does that feel?
That's one of those games where, and with the Houston Astros, with the record that they're at and being a pretty solid team, I wonder if I'd like to dive into that more, and I'll have to do some more research and see like who was actually out on the field. Was it kind of like in hockey, you just have an open goal every once in a while? Did you just do that and just keep the home plate just wide open for everybody? Or were you throwing softballs out there?
Yeah, so they've had, it looks like 6 games prior to last night where they have been defeated by 16. They lost to the Colorado Rockies, Atlanta Braves, New York Mets, Cincinnati Reds, Montreal Expos, Philadelphia Phillies, and then the 15-run margin of defeat for the Houston Astros was the Detroit Tigers. That was back in 2013.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I like the Red Sox. I like the Tigers more.
Yeah. But you appreciate the Red Sox. See, that's how I am. I have my affinities for some teams, but really I just appreciate the sports in general and say, like I'm a baseball fan and a football fan. Basketball, I enjoy college basketball and high school basketball, but once it gets into the pros, it's not really one I'm going to turn on and watch and really, make time out of my schedule in order to watch. But all the other stuff, I would, for sure.
Yeah. Basketball's fun. At one point, when I was living in Seattle, the Sonics were still there at the time. They hadn't gone off to Oklahoma or whatever.
Yeah.
And the appreciation was, it's almost like a chess game at times, especially down in the final minutes. So it's a lot of fun. It's amazing how they're able to pull some of the things off that they do. But
I heard they're making a comeback. The Sonics.
who? Really?
I heard they were talking about it. Like, I think it's like because Jeff Bezos was talking about owning some professional teams, and somebody made the suggestion, bring back the Sonics.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be great. They still have a place to play because I know the WNBA, I think, still plays in, or they play in one of those new stadiums that because they have a hockey team over in Seattle, the Krakens.
Yeah, the Krakens. Yeah.
All
They've got the Krakens in Key Arena. Oh,
we got to get back
something?
to the show and stuff here. Live on the air now. Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, and it's just past 7:30. Today's going to be pretty nice, sunny, high 85. Later tonight, it's going to be cloudy and a small chance for some storms possible. Low down to 63. So that's not sure exactly what your game time forecast is going to be for St. Joe Bears football, but we will have it here for you. 94.9 WSJM. We just talked with Brett just a little while ago.
We did.
We
continued talking about sports after Brett left.
Yep.
And unless you were on the feed, on the video feed that we have on YouTube and the Facebooks, you missed it.
Yeah, and that's what we want you to do. We want you can listen to the show on your radio and on the app and as well at WSJM.com. But something new that we're trying out, we'd love for you to watch us as well.
And give us feedback.
See our beautiful faces right there on the stream. On our
yours anyway.
Yeah, you're not too bad yourself.
Oh,
Facebook and YouTube. I'm just saying that because we're live.
You didn't have to say that. No, but we were talking about the Seattle Supersonics, and they were last in Seattle. I think it was 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying Bezos was thinking about bringing them back
because
they were sold and shipped off to Oklahoma or something.
Yeah, there's other interested parties that have a lot more money than you and I that want to bring back that. But I think Seattle has a pretty, and you can definitely speak to that. They have a pretty rich sports fandom over there. Even if you're not a sports ball fan, you know that there is a big affinity for the Seattle teams.
Oh, it's crazy because they used to, back in the day, they had the Kingdome, and both the Seattle Seahawks and the Seattle Mariners, they traded off and used it and argued over who's going to use it. Sometimes when you'd have the playoffs, you'd have potentially 3 sports teams in town at the same time. Well, they finally built 2 big stadiums, one for football, one for baseball. They're next to each other, and they're used as convention centers now. Wow. But yeah, so anyway, they do sports out there, right? It would be great to see a basketball team back there.
Absolutely. Well, we still have a lot to get to here on the show. We want to talk. You want to talk Orchards Mall? Some latest updates on what's going on over there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we'll chat about that. But first, let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News now.
Right. Do we want to listen to the news?
Sure. Yeah, let's hear what Mike Arney has.
WSJM.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Mike Alani. Overdue property taxes are mounting again for the owners of the Orchards Mall. WSJM's Ken Lundberg reports.
The current owner of Orchards Mall has a track record of not paying property taxes they owe the county until the very last minute. As of today, Durga Property Holdings, the owner of Orchards Mall, still owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid property taxes dating back to 2020. The amount is $344,494. If they fail to pay their summer property taxes, that amount climbs to nearly $400,000. Of the delinquent back taxes, $54,000 is for a sewer lien and $5,500 is for municipal mowing of the property. For its 2020 taxes, Durga Property Holdings is on a payment plan of $250 per month. That agreement expires in March of 24. If the 2020 tax bill of $101,000 is not paid by then, the property belongs to the county and can be auctioned off to the highest bidder. Ken Lundberg, WSJM News.
One of South Haven's largest employers is getting an industrial facilities tax exemption for an expansion. Assistant City Manager Griffin Graham told the City Council of the plans by WR Grace.
They have an ongoing construction project going on their property. They're looking to invest approximately $30 million into the community, which is just an amazing thing. And one of the tools that our organization has to support investment like this is IFTs.
Graham outlined what the company wants to build,
consisting of the construction of a 3-story building to accommodate an 800 millimeter centrifuge, as well as a warehouse to accommodate work in progress materials.
The expansion will create 20 new jobs over 2 years, retain all existing jobs. City Manager Kate Hosier called it an exciting project and says the jobs are all high paying. The Berrien County Health Department is urging all parents to make sure their kids have their required vaccines as a new school year approaches. Medical Director Rex Kabaltica tells us state law requires kids have certain vaccinations to enroll in school, but not all get those. At the end of last school year, 92.4% of Berrien County students had either all their vaccines or vaccine waivers. Kabaltica says the target that health officials want to hit is 95%.
At 95% vaccination rate, then you've got pretty high confidence that you can pretty much control any sort of viral outbreak like measles.
The 92.4% figure also includes those who had waivers, meaning the county's actual vaccination rate is likely lower. Kabaltica says once he lived in China and saw the effects of children being unvaccinated, he told us about one family in which 2 children died of measles.
And the 3 remaining kids, all 3 of them had measles. So they had 2 kids die from measles, completely preventable because they don't have the vaccine. And so that's a luxury that I think we take for granted.
Kabaltica says vaccination rates are down since COVID, partly because parents stopped taking their kids to the doctor as often, and partly because misinformation has caused more vaccine mistrust in general. He urges parents to talk to their children's doctor and notes health department also offers help getting vaccines. You just need to call. The Berrien County Historical Association is gearing up for its annual fundraiser. Director Rihanna Sizon told the Berrien County Board of Commissioners yesterday that they're hoping for a revitalized event this year.
After several years of embarrassment, for lack of a better phrase, we think we've hit on a winner for a theme for our fundraiser this year. It's called Bountiful Berrien Then and Now. We're going to do a farmer's market, in quotation marks, on the grounds featuring delicious food and drink that's harvest inspired from classic catering and Bridgman. And this year's theme is Centennial Footsteps. We are looking for the old farms in the area to participate in a small exhibit.
Sizon says they're looking for sponsors, ticket sales, and auction items for the fundraiser, and when interested, should just call them. The event will be October 1st at the Courthouse Square in Berrien Springs, starting at 4 p.m. Tickets cost $50. You can get those by calling the Berrien County Historical Association. The Van Buren County Sheriff's Department is investigating the burglary of a storage unit this week. They say deputies were called to the storage business in the 37,000 block of Red Arrow Highway around 12:40 p.m. Wednesday. They found a rental storage unit, had its lock removed. Stolen was a green 1977 Harley-Davidson Sportster, a red 1952 Cushman scooter, and 3 bicycles. The renter of the unit checks it frequently, believes the theft has occurred in the past month. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Van Buren County Sheriff's Department. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Michael Arning.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
That's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of things going on in the news this morning. And apparently other things going on in news feeds. Your social media thinks that you're hungry?
Yeah. I don't know why or how or when, but at some point Facebook figured out that I love dumplings, steamed dumplings.
Ooh.
And that's all it's showing me for ads right now. And they look delicious.
So you're
Have you
talking like the big, the little soup dumplings.
Yeah,
that
the
are
little
like
soup dumplings, and they're like yay big, and they have
Yeah,
the little
little-
twist on
yeah.
top, and then they're pouring this beautiful looking sweet and sour type syrup over it. Oh
man.
my gosh.
Oh man.
I may have to
See,
make those this weekend.
I love that. I love a good pierogi.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the other kind of, I guess you call them a dumpling, but it's more like a fold over kind of
Oh,
thing.
the pot stickers?
Yeah, like a pot sticker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really want that. Now I want those.
So we need to get sponsors for the show that make pierogies,
Yeah.
pot stickers, and dumplings. So if you do that,
Wouldn't that be
contact
great?
us.
Wouldn't that
And we'll
be
have you on the show.
Your news is brought to you by pierogies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well,
Thanks.
the WSJM morning show gets hungry.
Yeah, we got you. Pierogies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, if you're watching us on whether it be Facebook or YouTube, This is where you kind of get the behind the scenes look of what's going on here with the morning show. And usually on Fridays, what we'll do is because we got such a busy show and a busy weekend ahead of us and other things to do, but we still want to do this fine award winning program. Sometimes we do it from our homes, which also is another great thing that technology is able to make us do all those things.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice and it's comfortable, and the coffee is better.
And you're not in somebody made the comment one time that you were sitting with a bunch of I don't know if they said gold bricks or silver bricks or something like that.
These are acoustic sound absorbing tiles. They just prevent the reflection so you don't hear an echo.
It's not Ken sitting in the steam room
in a vault.
He's not getting a good steam in while we're doing the show.
But what I'm missing is the fancy neon on-air light and the picture of my dog in the background.
Oh, yeah, I got, one picture of Plinko over here, but I've got about 3 other pictures of Plinko, around the house as well, so
What's the bowling pin for?
Ooh, good,
Is that a story?
and there is a story involved in that, and I'll tell you in just a moment. Just wanna make sure we stay where we need
on
to be
time.
on the show.
Alright.
So that I did, I got a minute, I'll show it to you.
Are we gonna talk about Orchards Mall in a minute?
We are.
Okay. Ooh.
This is from my friends at Pete's Cider.
This is not a sponsored piece, by the way.
Not
This
a
is just
sponsored piece,
Yeah,
but I'm
nice.
sure Dan and Leah will love their, little shameless plug. But this is from Pete's Cider before they actually opened.
Yeah.
We did a promotional video for United Way of Southwest Michigan because I hosted the celebration one year back in, I think, a couple years I did it.
Okay.
And we did a promotional video, and it was where Johnny and Matt, who was on 97.5 Y Country, we were the hosts of it, and we were late to the celebration, and I had to use the bowling pin because this was a magical bowling pin that would transport you anywhere around Southwest Michigan. You just had to think about it.
This sounds like an improv bit.
It was a thinking pin.
Okay.
And I didn't crazy thing is, I didn't come up with this idea. They did. And I said, "This is crazy, but I'm gonna run with it because I love crazy ideas." But yeah, so they said, yeah, I could keep the bowling pin.
Pete's is fun. They have great cider. They have great bowling.
I was just talking to somebody about that because for anybody that was there when it was Lakeshore Lanes, is that, the people that had owned it over the past few years or past, few decades have really kept it very nostalgic. And it really feels like you're kind of flashing back to the 80s, 70s and 80s, because they still have the old little computer scorecard thing. And it's not all the flashy TVs and all that. You gotta do the little score table or whatever. It's pretty neat. And the lanes are great. Of course, the cider is fantastic in the outside patio and everything like that. I'm expecting a check to come in from Dan now after giving him this whole plug, but yeah.
Or maybe just some bowling. We can play bowling.
Yeah, we could bowl.
Or the video games. They have a few video games in the bar area there.
Are you a good bowler?
I'm not good. I did play in a league when I was a kid.
No way.
Yeah, it was fun. I do have a lot of fun. I take the boys bowling every now and again, and it astonishes me how bad they are.
What's your best score that you've had in bowling?
Ever?
Yeah, like as an adult or as a kid, whatever your high score was.
I mean, if I get over 100, I feel good about that. Never gotten close to 300. I'm gonna say probably maybe close to 150. So it's not that good.
Oh man,
that was a long time ago when I used to bowl.
I have had one game over 200.
No way.
Yeah, I think
that's
I got
a good
like
game.
201 or something.
Oh geez.
Yeah, and of course it's like towards the end, like the last, I got tired or something because it was like 2 or 3 games in, and I was in like the 7th frame, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing all right, here. Yeah,
maybe that's what Elon Musk is getting at, is he wants to be a better bowler.
yeah.
So he puts up the first, the X for
There you go.
strike.
There you go. All right. for those of you watching, we got to get back to the radio show.
Yeah, but we'll stay here too.
70s on
Mhm.
Sunday. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Hi, this is Pat Moody, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Jonny Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Not only are you listening to it, but some people, or some person,
Stop it. Stop it.
At one point, we did have quite a few people watching, and
There you go.
you can watch us on our Facebook and YouTube as well, live right now as we speak. We are there.
Yes.
And we're having some fun because we're having some behind the scenes conversations. So you can only get that exclusive stuff on our Facebook page. So be sure to give us a like and go check us out there. You've been very busy, Ken, covering a lot of things because, well, I mean, that's what you do. You're the news guy.
That's right.
But you've been kind of following quite a few stories and keeping us updated as things go along. And one of the things that you've spent, I don't even know how many weeks and months now of this, but there is a new development with the Orchards Mall,
right?
That could change things and maybe see what the future holds for Orchards Mall. But it's not good, right? What's going on with that?
Yeah, the overdue property taxes are mounting again for owners of the Orchards Mall, and this is not something new. What is new is that the amount is climbing to a concerning level again, and some local officials are wondering, okay, is this decline the beginning of the end of what Durga Properties is doing with Orchards Mall? Durga Property Holdings Incorporated is the current owner of Orchards Mall. And for those who have been following, they know that they have a track record of waiting till the last minute to pay their property taxes before the buildings get into foreclosure. And so as of today, the company owes about $345,000 in back taxes dating back to 2020. And now the summer taxes for Berrien County are coming due. And with the additional amount, their property taxes that are outstanding will be $400,000. So when you start to get close to $500,000 in back taxes, and you have two tenants in the building, you wonder what's the future going to be? How do you keep paying the property taxes? How do you keep it in your possession without it forfeiting into foreclosure,
Right.
when it's at that level? And included in the delinquent back taxes is $54,000 for a sewer lien because they weren't paying, according to the township, they weren't paying their sewer bills, and $5,500 for municipal mowing of the property. The grass gets tall, the weeds get tall. The township says it's an eyesore. We're going to go in there and do it for you since you're not doing it, and we'll charge you what it costs us to do it.
Ah, geez.
Yeah, so I did get a call back. Every time we update this news story, we reach out to the owners of Durga Property Holdings, and forever and a day, they've not returned calls or emails. Yesterday, they did. Montu Betty, the administrative liaison for Durga Property Holdings, called back and said he has been in contact with the county this week about the delinquent taxes. He says that, quote, it's his utmost desire and intent to have the taxes paid before March 2024. What we also talked about was we're going to get together and have a good conversation about what exactly is happening out there because he wants to tell his side of the story. I could hear frustration in his voice.
Sure.
But at the same time, for those who have been following the story for a long time, there's been a lot of talk in the past and not a lot of action.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that conversation goes because, yeah, I mean, we all have our thoughts and what we'd like to see happen, but really it all depends on how this because he's still the owner, what the owner does, and with these, this is something that has played out before in the past of a previous owner not paying taxes. So, I
Well,
don't know.
and we had Berrien County Commissioner Chokwe Pitchford in, who was trying to start trying to negotiate an agreement or at least understanding some way forward between the owners of the mall because he said, oh, well, they feel like they have a plan, but nobody will listen or work with them. So Shokoi Pitchford was trying to work a deal there. That's gone silent. And that's something the Durga Properties folks are saying, we don't know where that stands. We'd like to see it continue, but there's just no movement there. So there's more to understand with this story, so we'll keep on it.
Definitely want to keep you posted on that, and you can check out that and even past stories as well to kind of keep get yourself updated on everything related to the Orchards Mall at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Coming up here in just a little while, we will have your Moody on the Market update as well. That's next. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM. All right. Well, I think, do we want to stick around for our Moody on the Market update?
Sure.
Right.
We can talk deeper analysis of the July unemployment figures.
All right. Well, looking forward to that here in just a couple of minutes here, folks.
Yeah, and for those who are still watching the stream, the Orchards Mall story, it keeps going because there's a lot of parties that want to see something different happen there, than especially different than what's there today. Because you have two tenants in the building. One is like I don't know what you would call it. It's a furniture type store.
Oh, this open box
store,
furniture
right?
outlet kind of thing. Yeah.
I've been in there, and they have acres, it would seem, of stools, like high bar stools of all kinds of different shapes and sizes. They also have what I would call hotel art, kind of the stock art that you would often find in a hotel. That's one tenant. And the other tenant is the United States Post Office, which a lot of people are very confused as to why that remains there. I think it's probably because of the infrastructure they have, and the loading dock is part of that. And so two tenants, huge development opportunity. People have talked about everything from a water park to a convention center, but what it's going to take is a lot of redoing of all kinds of infrastructure.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, you can find it at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. Stay in the know with our team of contributors always on it, telling you about Southwest Michigan's business. We also have our Moody on the Move series and our awards program, so you can spend a lot of time over there at moodyonthemarket.com. Your update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we want to talk some unemployment numbers. What's the latest figures that we're seeing, Ken?
Deeper analysis, not seasonally adjusted unemployment rates increased in 14 of Michigan's 17 labor market areas over the month of July, according to data released by the Michigan Department of Technology, Management, and Budget. They say that Michigan regional labor markets exhibited typical jobless rate hikes during July. That's according to Wayne Rourke, a labor market information director of the Michigan Center for Data and Analytics. He says seasonal job cuts in the state's government sector contributed to payroll employment decreases across metro areas.
Wow. Well, we'll definitely want to check out these numbers because there's quite a lot of statistics that you need to keep track of. But if you're kind of tracking this and you want to be on the lookout for that, there's a lot of number crunching. But would you say overall good? Bad?
Well, I mean, it depends on which side of the equation you're on. I mean, one of the statistics I'll pull out since July of 2022, so a year ago, July, jobless rates went down in 16 Michigan labor market areas. If the jobless rates are going down, that means it's harder to get labor into your place of work. And what is the number one thing we're hearing from a lot of the businesses that are deciding to close or scale back? It's that they can't find people to work. So some of this continues to put pressure on that market. What does that result in? Probably an increase in wages in some cases. So it's good news, bad news. Workers get higher wages. Employers are still looking for workers.
Yeah, it certainly has been a very interesting landscape when it comes to just jobs in general. Because there's jobs out there, but some people are jumping from job to job in different places, mainly for and getting higher pay. So good for the employee. But some of these employers are challenging. It's for sure for these employers. So we'll just have to wait and see. But if you want to dive deeper into that, you can go check out that full story at moodyonthemarket.com.
Yes.
Your update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
And this is the part of the show where I usually sing the jingle. We're watching over you. IMS.
Insurance Management Service. It's
was
so
good.
catchy. So catchy.
It is catchy. It's nice.
So, yeah, thanks to our friends at Insurance Management Service. Good people over there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for spending some time with us. A full 45 minutes of this show. So if you happen to miss any part of it, you can go back and watch it at some point if you'd like.
And please give us feedback. We want to know. You want to see anything different? Bring our dogs in. That'd be fun.
And feel free to comment too, as we're having these conversations about things, whether it be sports or local news or things happening. If you have thoughts about anything, feel free to comment. We may even use your comment on the live stream.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out and do so.
And have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. We still got some more show to do, so be sure to listen for that. Full hour left to do. So we'll have that here shortly. But thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.